A little bit.
Widen his way. Well, you're the veteran between yourself and himself on Luc Besson Productions now.
Oh, just in that sense. I think no other context could you say that.
Well, what was it like for you to sort of return to that that roost, and did you have any advice for him?
I wouldn't attempt to advise Guy on anything in life, but yeah, it is my third. Well, I've recently finished my third film with Europa, so it's really such a joy to work with them, and such a joy to work with the same people over and over. You know, I think in this industry, one thing that yeah, Taken 2, which we just wrapped. So yeah, really exciting.
So do you feel like you're part of like an exclusive club and family now?
Yeah, Europa does really feel at times like a family because it's such a small community in Paris, and so a lot of the people have worked together for years. You know, there's a shorthand, and it's really lovely. It's a sense of this kind of merry band of travelers, and we've been to all these countries together now with them.
What do you think about? Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, we shot Lockout in Serbia, and then Taken we shot in Paris and Istanbul. So yeah.
What do you think is, because they've had a lot of success with their action films, you know, and they have such a different approach. I wonder what your take on that approach is and why their films are so successful in reaching such a worldwide audience. What's different about them?
It's kind of amazing. Luc Besson certainly knows his way around an action film and a car chase. I think it's really fun to see Luc return to the sci-fi genre in this too. I don't think he's really been back since The Fifth Element. And sci-fi is such a fun world with so many opportunities. Yeah, I would say, you know, especially with Lockout, they have a sense of humor. There's certainly a stylized kind of world, but it's not pretentious in any way. It doesn't take itself too seriously. There's certainly kind of homage moments and genre referential kind of jokes. So I think that's what really drew me to this, was the sense of humor, and especially between my character and Guy Pearce's character, this combative sexual energy. I just loved that and kind of had that throwback kind of feel.
Can you talk a little bit about the chemistry you had with Guy and how that came about?
Who wouldn't have chemistry with Guy Pearce? He's I'm so happy to see him kind of come to the action genre for a change. I'm sure he's been offered many action movies, but in this one, I think his kind of snarky, acerbic, dry sense of humor really was utilized. So I think we need more of that in the action genre. Yeah, it was a joy. I mean, he's obviously a ridiculously smart guy, as I'm sure you saw. And I'm a big fan of his work from Memento to The Proposition. I mean, he's incredible. And I think really not given his due in many ways because he's so mercurial. He just disappears into things. I don't think people know it's him. At least that's the sense I've gotten in like, you know, telling my family and friends kind of about this movie, and they're like, oh yeah, Guy Pearce, he's the one from, and I'll name things and they're like, that was him? You know, that he's that, he just disappears into things. It's amazing.
I heard you had to learn a little French for Lost. Did you have to learn any unusual skills for this at all, or being more of an action role?
Yeah, we definitely had some combat training and some work on the wires because we had to get really comfy up there, you know, because the schedule was so crazy once we started shooting. I wish I'd learned more French back in my last days because now that I'm working with Europa so much, it would really come in handy, you know. I've taken a few classes, but of course, every time I settled down into a college course, I started a French class recently, and then I ended up going on location 3 weeks later, so.
How far up the sort of action ladder are you hoping to go? Because I mean, in Taken, you were the kidnapped daughter who didn't really do much, and now you're the kidnapped daughter who gets to fight a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, are you hoping to at some point, you know, be the person who goes and rescues the kidnapped daughter? You know, and
you could be the mom of the kidnapped.
Yeah, right. I mean, do you want to be, you know, like a big action hero at some point down the line?
I think that'd be fun. I don't know if it's my goal in life, but I'm having a lot of fun making action movies. They're not, it's kind of new for me. I was more of a Jane Austen, Jane Eyre girl growing up, so it's kind of funny. My family's getting a kick out of it. I would love to play more empowered characters and maybe more of a Tomb Raider next time around would be fun.
How was it physically for you? Because Guy says that he works physically, but did you have to take training and?
Yeah, we definitely prepped and had, fun kickboxing lessons. But there's also some limits on that. I mean, the character is the president's daughter, so she can't be jacked. I mean, it's within reason, right?
Can you talk a little bit about Taken 2 and Twilight?
Yeah, we just wrapped Taken 2 about a month ago. So it was really crazy to have everybody back. It's, Liam Neeson and Famke and myself, and it's been almost 5 years since we shot the first one. It's a really long time, for a sequel. And it's really lovely. I mean, they're people I've come to really care about, and it's great to work together again.
And then what's happening with Twilight 2? Or Breaking Dawn Part 2?
We block shot both of the Breaking Dawn installments together a while back, and I'm excited to see Breaking Dawn Part 2. I haven't seen it yet.
And then what's your role in that?
It's basically the villainess. I'm a vampire, but through a misunderstanding, kind of Irina Denali, yes.
When you're in an action film like this and you have only a few scenes where you go back and forth, do you say to each other, we got to make this scene count? Or you never got to that?
Yeah, I mean, there is a sense that you have a limited amount of time to create characters that people really care for. You're not going to necessarily have the whole first act of sitting around in living rooms finding out what these people are about.
But do you talk to Guy about that? Was that part of your conversation?
Yeah, we did have a bit of time when we first got in Belgrade where we could iron things out, and we did make a lot of changes and talk about exactly what we wanted from each scene.